So this video is intended for students who are participating in online learning. I will be going over this information in class with the students who will be attending in person. However, it is good to have this available for students who may have missed a class period, and it's really important to understand how I use Canvas specifically for my classes. That way it's easy for you to navigate through Canvas even if you're not going to be here in class. So once you log into Canvas or graniteschools.instructure.com, it should take you initially to the dashboard, and it'll show you all of your classes. Now I'm going to start here because, yeah, that's kind of what I expected to happen. I'm starting here because since I'm currently in student view, you can see down here I'm in student view. It means I'm viewing what you see when you look at Canvas. It actually looks a little bit different when I am editing my pages in Canvas, but I wanted to make sure and explain it in a way that is very obvious to you guys. So when you go to Canvas, it automatically takes you to the dashboard. You'll choose which class you are looking at, and when you log into my class, it's going to take you directly to this page. This is what I set as the front page for my photography classes. For my 2 yearbook students, just so you know, I'm using photography as an example. I'm not going to create a second video because things are a lot different for my yearbook students. But anyway, for those of you who are online learners who didn't know, I'm also the yearbook advisor at the school. Besides that, I teach mostly basic digital photography. So once you log in, it should take you to this page. And what I plan on doing is posting what we will be doing in class on this page, and it'll tell you what's expected of you. Now, this is incomplete because I'm currently making the video that I'm going to post, but I can still show you part of what I'm going to give. I'll list it off, the day's date, kind of what you're expected to do on that day, information we're going to cover, etc. Now, all of the content that I'm going to be posting is going to be seen underneath modules. So this is kind of this is what you should do page, but everything that you're going to be doing is going to be under modules. Now, I organize my classes based off of the date, right? So the first day we went over the course introduction, talked about disclosures, and I list any materials, expectations, daily objectives, assignments on what's called the content pages. So the page that has the date on it, that's where you're going to find the information that has the content on there. So I'm going to go to today's date, which is the 26th. And as you can see, the first thing that I list off is your daily objectives. Basically, this will be a brief explanation of what you're doing for the day. And then the class starter is normally for my students who I'm going to see in person. And it'll kind of just tell you, like, if we're finishing an assignment, that's what you should be doing. Now students in person are expected to clean their desk area, so that's what I will put a lot of the time for our class starter, but it's basically what you should start with. Sometimes I make it like a video or reading, something that you should be doing to kind of prepare you what we're learning about in the lesson. As you can see, I have not posted the intro to Canvas video because that's what I'm making now. I'm also going to make a video to kind of show you guys how to submit assignments and how to get photos from your phone and submit it on Canvas. I'll go over that in the next video, but for this video, I'm going to explain how Canvas is used for my class. So over here on the left-hand side, you'll notice there's a navigation area. Basically, these are the tabs that I plan on using. If something's not on here, like for example, assignments, some of you probably know assignments used to be there. It's because I didn't want you to immediately go there, right? So in my past classes, a lot of my students would just click on assignments and not look at basically anything else in this area. That's not what I want you to do. I want you to go through the modules, view this content page so you know what is expected of you, and then the good thing about the content page and modules is it's all organized, right? So I'll post assignments down at the bottom. You hit next. Wow, there's that intro survey that I asked you to take. Then you hit next. Oh, look, there's a reading response. That's the other thing I was going to talk to you about. So, modules, very organized. I mean, I organize it in order of the date by what we do. And then beneath each date is where I'll list either assignments or quizzes that you're expected to take. So if you haven't noticed yet, your assignments for today are to complete the intro survey as well as the reading response and a photo, but you should be watching these videos before you get started on those. Especially for my online students, announcements are going to be important. So if the whole school were to switch to online unexpectedly, I would be using announcements regularly to try and give you guys important information that the school is talking about. Check announcements maybe once a week, maybe every time you log in, just to see if I post any important information. When I post the announcements, it'll just have information on there. Right now I'm saying this is for my how-to video. Yeah, but announcements are basically me trying to inform you something that I think is important for you to know. A lot of the time your quizzes are actually going to be shown in the module, but if I import a quiz like from another class period or a previous year's class, sometimes it only shows up in quizzes and it doesn't show up in your modules. If you're ever expected to take a quiz and it's not showing up in your modules, you'll be able to find it under quizzes. Now, discussions. This is actually one that I've wanted to talk about with all of my students, and I'm glad that I'm using this as an example. One thing that I would like to use more for online learning are the discussions, because basically it's a way for you guys to interact with each other. So when there's a discussion, I'll post articles or discussion points that you're expected to read and reply to. And when you're participating in a discussion, you should be reading the original post by me, and then I'll write out questions or discussion points that you are going to reply to. So, and that's usually how I'll do it, is I'll say, you create a post. Now your post would be maybe answer a couple of questions. And then you'd say, okay, here is an answer. Now, once you post your reply, you now have a list of all the students who have already participated. In order to actually discuss with your other students, I will probably post follow-up questions, meaning make a comment, ask questions, say something in response to someone else's question or someone else's post. And that way, you guys can not only kind of debate on certain topics, but it's a way to know some of the other students who are part of your class. Even if you're not able to see them in person, it's still good to form some sort of connection with your students. Now, I'm not going to go over these last three. I will mention files real quick, but I'm almost done with my Canvas video. So files, I'm going to show you something first. So if you go to modules, on my content pages, like for example, here's our first page, I posted the citizenship disclosure as well as the course disclosure. Now, the files on Canvas is basically anything that I have posted on one of the content pages. It just automatically gets uploaded here. So these are some older files. Notice it says 2019. Technically those shouldn't be there. I can delete them later, but regardless, that's how I'll use Canvas. Oh, this one's important. So if you're gonna not look super close into what you should be doing, or if you're wondering if you're missing an assignment, you probably have a to-do list. If you do not have a to-do list, that means you're up to date on everything, and you probably have already done all the assignments you need to do, and you don't need to worry about it. But if you do have a to-do list, then start checking off that to-do list and see what you can get done. Oh, that's good to know that my announcements also show up on your to-do list, so I'll know when you guys viewed it. Okay, last thing is learning activities and assessments. So as you saw with the course disclosure that I posted from last class period, I will be using proficiency-based learning in all of my classes. Now I wanted to kind of explain how you know something is a learning activity and how you know it's going to be an assessment. So far, everything I've posted is just a learning activity. I've only counted it as 1 point because that way I can just put 1 if you completed it, or 0 if you didn't complete it, or if you totally did it wrong. Once I've created an assessment, it will probably say something like S1 A1 for Strand 1, Assessment 1. In fact, that's going to be one of your first things that comes up. Strand 1 goes over the history of photography. A1 just means that's the first assessment that you'll be taking. That's how you know it's obvious, and it will always be out of 4 points if it's an assessment. Assessments go on your grade. The reason that I haven't posted grades over here is your grade in Canvas is not going to be accurate because of these learning activities. When you check your grade for my class, you need to make sure you're checking Canvas and not, When you check your grade in my class, you need to make sure you are checking Gradebook and not Canvas. Gradebook is what's going to give you the accurate score and what your grade actually is. That's it for Canvas. If you have any questions, I'm going to highly recommend that instead of just emailing me, you use your inbox. When you go to your inbox, I can't actually show you in Student View, but basically it's going to give you a list of your classes. There's going to be a little symbol that kind of looks like a pen on a piece of paper. To create a new message, you hit that pen on a piece of paper, choose that class that you're trying to, of the teacher you're trying to contact, and start typing in their name. Again, I'm Miss Weaver, so you can start typing in WEA, and my name should automatically pop up, Whitney Weaver. Yeah, send me a message if you have any questions. I'm more likely to respond to your message on Canvas faster than I would to an email because I know it's a student. A lot of the time I get a bunch of emails that I might not always read. So thanks for listening. See you soon.